love films, he loves films, and if you're watching this, you probably enjoy watching films too. On today's episode, we don't really have anything queued up in terms of what we've watched recently. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop down or list down 3 essential films that we personally enjoy.
My name's Nick. Let's get into it. Hello there, Clapperheads, and all right, stop trying to hijack this podcast. Get your England together first, then maybe we'll talk. My name is Nick Dorian, and welcome. Oh no, sorry. Oh my goodness! See, you threw me off.
Hello
there,
there,
Clapperheads,
Clapperheads.
and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperTalks. I'm Nick Dorian,
And I'm Kelvin Tay.
and yes, as Calvin wonderfully put it, we are going to be talking about a few essential films that should be on your watch list. Because, as you may or may not know, we have a segment on ClapperCorn called ClapperCorn Essentials. You can see that on our TikTok and our Instagram. So it's like crossover, but it's the same company.
Basically,
so like,
it's just us trying to promote ClapperTalks Essentials.
yeah, and also filler episode. Hey. So would you like to go first?
Yes,
Yes.
I have a whole scroll
Okay.
of film because when
Okay.
you talk about essential films, I can't just list down 3.
Okay.
So I kind of have 6 here. I'm
Yeah.
cheating a bit.
We'll do this. We'll quickly do 3 and 3 for the
Okay.
first half,
Okay.
and then honorable mentions for the second
Okay,
half.
love it.
Yes,
High
let's
five.
do that.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. I didn't list this down as essential films that I like, but what I listed down here is 3 movies that you can talk to me about that will never shut me up. Film
Okay.
number 1.
Star Wars.
Surprisingly, there's no Star Wars on this list. Surprisingly, because the Star Wars I enjoy is in the animated series and not really the films.
Okay.
I enjoy the film, but
Yep.
to me, the core of Star Wars comes from the expanded universes.
Okay.
Right. So, first movie, it's an animated film from Studio Ghibli called Princess Mononoke.
My prince, are you prepared to learn what fate the stones have foretold you?
Yes. This
Okay.
one, I mean, when it comes to Ghibli, there is no shortness of greatness there,
Yeah.
right? You can't discount Ghibli. There are some misses,
Yeah.
but I would say 9 out of 10 of it is the greats of the greats, right?
Yeah. You can't fault it.
Yeah, I have Spirited Away, I have Princess Mononoke, I have Porco Rosso, and I have so many more. But just to boil it down, the core essence of me and Ghibli would be Princess Mononoke.
Okay. Understandable, and I think a lot of people would agree with that
Yeah.
choice. Princess Mononoke is, you know what? Studio Ghibli, whatever Studio Ghibli film is automatically a
Yeah.
classic film.
Yep.
Even The Boy and the Heron, it came out instant classic.
Instant classic, yes.
Now, the first one that I have is going to be a fairly obvious choice to a lot of people who know me. It is one of my all-time favorite films, and if you haven't watched it, you're missing out on a wonderful piece of cinema, and that is Back to the Future 1.
Steven Spielberg presents Back to the Future, a Robert Zemeckis film. Marty leads an ordinary life.
No McFly ever amounted to anything in the history of Hill Valley.
Yeah, well, history is going to change.
Okay.
It's a hard choice because 2 is equally great. Let's not talk about 3. It was fun, but 1 has cemented its place in my heart because it is something that I grew up with. I rewatch it at least once a year. I'm due for my next rewatch, actually. I've seen The DeLorean. I have all kinds. I've met Doc Brown. So, you've got to...
Okay, fair
Yes.
enough.
Back to the Future is an absolute gem of a time travel film that I feel reinvigorated the time travel formula within cinema.
Okay.
So if you haven't, go watch Back to the Future.
The second film I have on my essential list that will never shut me up is kind of a trilogy as well. But it is from one of my favorite trilogies of all time. Is a Nolan trilogy. It is, of course, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and also The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
But if I were to pick one out of these 3, it's hands down The Dark Knight.
Forever. There's no going back.
Featuring Kristen Bale, Heath Ledger, Gary Oldman, Anne Hathaway, Michael Caine, etc., etc., right? Why is this an essential? Because I grew up Batman. I grew up DC. I've said this before on the podcast. And dude, just Heath Ledger's Joker is to me the creme de la creme of comic book superhero cinema.
Understood?
You can't beat that. The darkness, the grittiness, the story, the character, the acting, everything was just perfect comic book, like 1-to-1 translation from paper to film.
It was the perfect formula all coming into place. I think I watched Dark Knight at least like 3-4 times in the
I watched
cinema.
it 23 times.
Good Lord.
It is one of those films that I always have on my PC, on the background. It's always there. When I'm bored, I don't know what to watch, I just put it on the background doing my work. It's just there.
23 times.
About 23 times, I would say, yes.
And you haven't watched Blade once.
Is Blade Batman? I don't think so.
You know,
Does Blade have Heath Ledger? I don't think so.
Blade had Wesley Snipes, okay? I love Heath, but Wesley Snipes.
Nah, not for me.
My next absolute essential film is a film about a dark vampire who goes out and starts hunting vampires as well. He's half vampire, half human. His name's Blade.
Is it really? Is it really?
It's not. It is an honorable mention.
Okay, okay. Fair enough.
Just to throw it in
what's
there.
the second one?
My second one is actually a film that came out in recent years.
Oh.
It's Piece by Piece, the Pharrell Lego biopic documentary.
Yeah.
Quiet on the set.
Hey, Pharrell.
Hey, how you doing, man? You know, it'd be cool is if we told my story with Lego pieces.
Seriously?
Oh shit, really?
Now, I didn't think too much about this film. First of all, yes, I like Pharrell's music, I like NERD, but I wasn't like diehard. I need to watch this film. And the fact that it was Lego was another piece of me that was like,
pun intended.
Yeah, pun intended. Also didn't somehow attract me, even though it was Lego. But then I saw it on HBO Max recently. I said, you know what, let me just give it a go. And it's now turned into one of my favorite musical biopics. Like, it's done in a very interview documentary format, but his entire life, his memories are all told within Lego pieces, of course.
Right.
There's a lot of inside jokes. There's a lot of Easter eggs for Lego fans. There's a wonderful sequence with Snoop Dogg, which they try and hide the weed. So they did something spectacular with it to make it kid-friendly. And it's surprisingly emotional and relatable as well. It really showcases the downsides of success and how just being yourself sometimes is the most magic formula you could have.
Oh, damn. Okay. The fact that it's on your essential list.
Yes, piece by piece.
Okay.
100%.
The last one I have on my list on my essential film is a Spielberg's classic. It's a Tom Hanks classic. It is, of course, Saving Ryan's Privates.
Ah, yes. I remember that. That's a fantastic film. Quite erotic, but it's a very good story of brotherhood. Yeah.
Now, it's of course Saving Private Ryan. If you don't already know, I've mentioned this again and again on the podcast. I am a sucker for a lot of World War II films. I enjoy war films. And this is something that is, if someone ever asks me, it's like, what war film, what war action film can I watch? And if the question arises and the answer is, I've never watched Saving Private Ryan, I was like, number one, what's wrong with you? Number two, this... I don't even know how to describe my love for this film, right?
I get it.
From the acting to the story, even though if it's not a real story, but the depiction of war, the depiction of brotherhood, the depiction of the hardship that they have to go through during World War II, and I really hope we don't go into that, which recently seems a bit plausible.
Yeah.
This film is one of the, if not the greatest World War II film ever, which is
Hands
Saving
down.
Private Ryan, not Ryan's Privates.
Yeah, that's a whole different film.
Yes.
Don't Google it. Anyway, the last essential that I have is, again, people who know me know my adoration for Kevin Smith. And one of the very first films, apart from Clerks, that I saw of his was Dogma.
Is this why I had to come down here this morning, man? Is this why I had to miss my cartoons? You call me, you tell me it's important.
We're going home.
Take it, man, and quit leering at me. People are gonna think I just broke up with you.
Dogma was, at the time, still is fairly controversial in its themes because it's about There's the 14th Apostle and the great granddaughter of Jesus Christ has to save the universe from Satan himself. And of course, it's Jay and Silent Bob. And it's wonderful to see this film because this was where Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, I think, truly came into their own and got to let loose out of Good Will Hunting.
Right.
And to this day, it's such a deep story compared to every other Kevin Smith film. This had religious undertones, it had commentary on society. There was so much going for it that because of the controversy, people tend not to watch it or immediately judge it. Don't. Watch it with an open mind, and it is by far, next to Clerks, one of Kevin Smith's best films, hands down. Dogma. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And after the break, we will be coming back with our honorable mention because, again, one thing about our episodes is like whenever we try to boil it down to just
We
three,
cannot.
it is the hardest.
Cannot.
It's like, nah, no.
It's like somebody asked me, what's your favorite series? I'm like, well, I don't have one. Can I give you 10?
Yeah, can I give you 10 or more?
Yeah.
Right, so after the break, we'll be coming back with our honorable mentions. I do have, again, a whole scroll of it.
Stick around. We'll be back after this.
All right, man.
Now, on to our honorable mentions, because like we said before, we can't just boil it down to 3. We got to have 3 extra ones. So what is yours?
Okay. I mentioned I have a whole scroll, right?
Yes.
From movies like Isles of Dog, Peanut Butter Falcon, Safety Not Guaranteed, The Truman Show, The Lobster, Emily, Captain Fantastic, and the list just goes on and on and on. But I managed to kind of boil it down to 3, what I like to call here 3 indie films. Okay. The first one, I don't know if you've heard of this before, is a film called Hunt for the Wilder People.
Oh, yes, I've heard of this.
That is, oh my God, for me, Hunt for the Wilder People is a recommendation whenever it comes to like a feel-good, casual sit-down film. Don't ask about it. It's just a coming-of-age film that will guide you through New Zealand.
Yeah.
And it is just a good time to sit down, enjoy. Damn good film.
That's the Kiwi film, is New Zealand, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, my honorable mentions, again, like you, I wanted to go for the more mainstream stuff. Like I wanted to put Kingsman, I wanted to put Jurassic Park, I wanted to put Jaws, all those stuff. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Maybe put a few films that people might have heard of, might not have heard of, but absolutely must watch. Now, one of them, of course, yes, a bit mainstream, but I have to mention it. It's Blade. Now, look, Blade.
Did you pick this just to spite me?
Half and half.
Okay.
But it is an absolute essential.
Okay.
Because before that, superhero films were like, you know, the Richard Kenneth freaking
Remember Daredevil?
Yeah, Daredevil. Hey, no, this came even before Daredevil.
Yeah,
but before that, we had Incredible Hulk, the TV series, those God. TV films. If you look at the 80s and 90s of Spider-Man and Captain America's and Thor's, it was very comic book like. In the worst kind of way.
Yeah, in the worst kind of way. Yes.
So when Blade popped up, it's like there was this badass superhero that really isn't a superhero. And Wesley Snipes just blasted onto screen in full-on gore. It was unlike any superhero film we had seen before that.
I wish I could say I agree, but never watched it again.
Yeah.
So.
And it will forever change because of Blade. Yes, I agree with people. The MCU would not have happened without Blade. Blade is the spiritual successor of the comic book superhero films.
So is it safe to say Blade walked so the MCU universe we know right now could run?
100%.
Damn. Okay.
100%.
Okay.
If we didn't get Blade, we wouldn't have gotten Spider-Man.
Okay.
Yeah. And the other Fantastic Four.
The second film I have is a Wes Anderson film. It's a Wes Anderson classic. Can you take a guess?
Grand Budapest Hotel?
Definitely.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't even know how to categorize Grand Budapest or any of Wes Anderson films, but I would say the Grand Budapest Hotel is the entryway or gateway into experiencing Wes Anderson at his best. It's a story about a hotel owner, and that's all I'm going to say.
It's Wes Anderson. I think that really is just like his filming style. You keep it at a minimal.
Yeah.
It's all about minimalism.
Yeah. I mean, you have Ralph Phineas, Bill Murray.
Who?
Ralph Phineas.
Ray Fiennes.
Yeah, it has all this amazing. Really? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes. I can understand the Ralph because people do tend to mispronounce that as Rafe.
Huh.
But
wait, what kind of name is that? It's Finnes.
No, it's not. It's Fiennes. Fiennes.
Fiennes.
Yes, Ralph Fiennes.
That's why I just call him Voldemort, man. It's so much easier. Jesus.
Ralph Phineas. The new Harry Potter is casted Ralph Phineas in the world of Dumbledore.
Oh, I'll just shut the fuck up.
I love you.
I love you too, man. But yeah,
Yes.
Grand Budapest Hotel. That it's. How would you describe the film? How would you describe the essence of the Grand Budapest Hotel?
Absurd, artful, minimalism.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Words taken literally out of my mouth.
But it's not for everyone. That's why I will agree. Wes Anderson is an acquired taste. Like, let's face it, people that are diehard Marvel fans who go and watch MCU are going to watch Wes Anderson and go,
I feel somewhat insulted.
No, don't be insulted because that means we are men of culture.
All right.
Yes.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah. So culture that I can't even pronounce.
Don't come after us, please.
Yeah,
Don't come.
okay.
Wes Anderson's great. Don't come after us. Thanks.
Okay.
The other film, surprisingly, that I have is also Wes Anderson.
Oh.
And it's Isle of Dogs. I feel one of the more underrated ones that is rarely talked about. Isle of Dogs was his...
Because when I was checking out, essential films, Wes Anderson is definitely one of the directors that came out.
Yeah.
I wanted to pick Isles of Dogs, but then I was conflicted between Isles of Dogs and the Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Ah, yes.
And again, those to me,
Yeah.
like if you say Wes Anderson was an acquired taste, his what is it called? The stop motion is even more acquired.
Because he's no longer confined. He can do whatever he wants. But I just love the tone of Isle of Dogs, that Japanese theming around it, the music especially. I listened to that soundtrack verbatim for months.
Okay.
I loved it so much. Of course, when I went to Japan, that was the first thing I played. I was just listening to the Isle of Dogs soundtrack. But it is a great story of, surprisingly, humanity told through dogs.
Yeah. Yep.
In a way that only Wes Anderson can do.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So that one, Isle of Dogs. What's your last honorable mention?
Hot Fuzz.
Ah, yes.
Come on, man. Nick Frost, Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg.
That's enough said.
Yeah.
That's Edgar Wright, Cornetto trilogy. Hot Fuzz is definitely one of the first out there.
Yeah.
It's again feel good, comical, action packed.
Yeah. Well, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Somewhat of a twist in the end.
Yes.
Like modern British humor as well.
Yeah.
Again, Hot Fuzz. I won't say anything else. If you have not watched Hot Fuzz, you definitely have to check it out.
Now, my last one. Now, this really is a very
avant-garde. Are you gonna say avant-garde
It's
again?
not avant-garde, but a lot of people hate on this film, but I love it. And I know the reasons are going to be obvious when I say it, but believe me, it's more than just that.
Okay, before you
Now,
tell them, why don't you tell me? I'm gonna mute this part out and then they can see from my reaction.
Okay. It's a remake of a film called Fright Night, starring Colin Farrell and David Tennant.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So the film I just mentioned to Kelvin is the remake of the 1980 classic Fright Night, starring Colin Farrell and David Tennant. Now listen. I know the people who are my friends are listening to this and going, of course, it's David Tennant. But no, it is that. But it's also Colin Farrell. Because even at his most campiest, he still delivers such a fantastic performance. Now, I'm guessing you have it open. Can you give us the back of the DVD for this one?
The 2011 one or the 85 one?
The 2011 one.
Okay, hold on.
Yes.
Following several deaths in his neighborhood, Charlie starts suspecting that his neighbor Jerry is a vampire. The only person willing to help him is Peter, a man who claims to be a vampire killer.
So yes, Colin Farrell plays the vampire, and David Tennant plays Peter, the vampire killer.
Okay.
Now,
I
now listen.
I want to watch this now.
Colin Farrell. Sorry, forget Robert Pattinson. Okay, if Robert Pattinson is the sexy vampire, Colin Farrell in this film was the daddy vampire. Like,
Okay.
he is sleazy but charming, where he's a vampire and vicious as hell. And then you have David Tennant, who is this Chris Angel type magician who's shirtless most of the time. Stop it. I know. All right? Shut the up. I know. Okay, it's not that. But David Tennant as well was wonderful in this. And if I'm not mistaken, Anton, the actor, the Star Wars actor, the Star Trek actor who unfortunately passed away,
man.
Anton Yelchin.
Hold on.
If I'm not mistaken, his name.
Anton Yelchin. Yes, correct.
I think this was his either second to last or third to last film before he tragically passed away. All three of them blow out fantastic performances. Yes, it's a bit camp. Yes, it's a bit over the top, but somehow it fits because it's like an 80s horror.
Right.
I love that film to death. I think people give it a lot of shit for unjust reasons.
Okay.
Give it a watch. Let me know your opinion. And bear in mind, it's not the most fantastic film, but it's a fun ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a cheat here because I have a special honorable mention.
Okay, fine. I can pull one out too.
It's 3 films.
Oh my God.
It's 3 films that start with the word the.
Okay, let's go through them very quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Thing,
Okay.
The Blob,
Uh-huh.
The Fly.
The Fly. Ah, okay.
Those 3.
Classic horror monsters lah.
Love it. Love it.
Okay. My top 3, my special 3 would be the OG Frankenstein.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. The OG Frankenstein, the OG Dracula, and the OG Phantom of the Opera. Like, I know this is strange, but I grew up with Universal Classic Monsters. So those 3 hold a special place in my heart. Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney, and... Lon Chaney, Boris Karloff, and... I know the other one. It will come to me eventually.
What's the film called?
But it's on the tip of my tongue. Not Lou Bega. Shut the fuck up. Not Lou Bega. What the fuck? Dracula. Just type OG Dracula. Lon Chaney.
Tak ada?
Ada. Wait. It's on the tip of my tongue. Bela Lugosi. There it is. I got it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bela
Lugosi. So those, I think, gave me my interest in horror.
Okay.
Which is why I love Frankenstein. I love Dracula. I love those tales. I am always a sucker for any remake of those, regardless of whether it's terrible or not. I will watch whatever those 3 characters are in.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's our ClapperCorn Essentials on ClapperTalks. Make sure you check out more ClapperCorn Essentials on our Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at ClapperCorn. And if you'd like to find out more about the Malaysian podcasting industry, you can head to
Malaysia
on Instagram, TikTok, and also renegadeplus.com. I got it right this time.
Thank you very much.
And as always, I'm Nick Dorian.
And I'm Kelvin Tay.
Keep watching the movies.
Ciao.
We all love films. You love films. That's why you're probably listening to this. So let's give you some let's do this again. I had it. Wait, I had it. Okay. 3.
Let me do it.
Okay.
3, 2,
1.
1.